Welcome to Womanosity for Women with Curiosity. I'm Tadia Rice, your tour guide on this virtual weekly journey where we meet incredibly talented, history-making, ceiling-breaking, powerhouse women graced by grace with matter-of-fact impact. Oh, you are so beautiful and empowered and gloriously curious, every wonderful one of you. Thank you so much for listening. I value you so much. You know, together we vibrate my studio as we liberate our minds and deliberate humankind. Thank you for being with me. Woman Radio really appreciates your listenership. I'm so happy to have you with me today. You make my day better. My guest is a most remarkable young professional who is so brilliant. She shines everywhere she goes. She is proudly South African. Onke Dumeko is the recipient of the 2017 Mail and Guardian Top 200 Young South Africans and the 2018 Gauteng Government Film and Media Excellence Award. She is amazing. She has made a name for herself as the strategic marketing manager of the country's leading magazine platforms, such as Destiny Magazine, Destiny Man, Elle Decoration, and Sawubona magazines, originally published by Ndalo Media. Onke possesses a strong understanding of every aspect of publishing. She is a maven, and she has an infectious smile. Onke is a Golden Key alumnus with extensive work experience spanning diverse disciplines and industries. Her skill sets provide unmatched organizational value. She's the producer and host of her own YouTube show and podcast called the ForeverOnke Show. The name ForeverOnke is an extension of her isiXhosa birth name, which essentially translates to all to the infinite or forever of possibilities. When she interviews her guests, she enables them to realize the infinite possibilities latent in everyone listening. Well, she's here with me today in my studio, and this time she's the guest, and I'm going to share with you her infinite possibilities. Welcome, Onke Dumeko. Welcome to Woman Radio and Womanosity for Women with Curiosity. I am thrilled to have you with me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tadia. I'm so happy to be here, and it's so amazing and wonderful to speak to women all over the world. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm just thrilled to have you here. You know, you wear many hats, my dear. Now you are the head of operations for the National Film and Video Foundation. Can you please tell us about the foundation and your role?
Essentially, the foundation is an agency of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. And what we do is we are the custodians for the film and audiovisual industry in South Africa. So our mandate is really to promote the industry and to really be the core center of its funding, especially when it comes to films and documentaries, and to also elicit kind of ready on tap insights from a research perspective. So that's what the agency does. And in my role as the head of operations, essentially what I do is I oversee 5 of the departments, namely marketing and communications, events and activations, partnerships and distribution, legal, policy, compliance and research, which is one division. And then there's a division that kind of reports into me through a dotted line, which is occupational health and safety. So, and then which entails in that, you know, all of the operational elements with regards to facilities management and all of that. So essentially that's my role, is to oversee those 4 departments, and then with a dotted line to the 5th one.
You know, the entertainment world has changed significantly with the introduction of other newer exhibition platforms that include digital and new technologies, and you deal with those. South Africa, I am so happy to say, has kept up with the cinema industries around the world. You've maintained a nimble and modern approach to what you do, and these business units are really quite remarkable. What I think a lot of people don't know is that the South Africa film and video industry has gone to Cannes, has shown its movies, has promoted so much film and television. You've developed talent and skills in the country, especially with emphasis on previously disadvantaged groups. And you provide funding for film development and production independence. This is so important. What skills do you think are essential in the influential position that you hold to be successful in this competitive and fast-paced film and TV industry?
I think the skills that are most important is that, first of all, you need to have a very strategic approach towards the decision making that needs to happen, right? Because no decision can happen in a silo. Nothing is mutually exclusive. Everything within the organization is interrelated and interdependent, and that affects the way in which we position the films externally. So, I mean, from an operational perspective, we have internal stakeholders, which is the rest of the business, finance, HR, industry development, and then the office of the CEO. And then we have external stakeholders, which are the industry, right? So our role is dual in the sense that we need to make sure that we service the business, but at the same time, we have to service an industry. So you really have to be strategic in terms of killing as many birds with one stone, but also doing things in a way that results in the most synergy as possible. And then I think the other skill set that's quite important is a very collaborative approach towards doing things. I think it's something so critical and central is stakeholder relations management, and you really have to have the ability and the knack to be able to communicate effectively with anyone from a disgruntled filmmaker to a decision-making stakeholder who has the ability to partner with you and drive more funding into the organization and therefore for filmmakers, or not do that. And obviously you want to create the types of partnerships where you create that, where you create a positive outcome on that. So I'd really say a collaborative approach, and I would say being highly strategic, are the two most fundamental skill sets.
Outstanding. Now, what's exciting to me is that the National Film and Video Foundation, along with the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, are bringing South African films to the BRICS Film Festival in Shanghai, China. And that's coming up very soon. Can you tell us a little bit about BRICS and all of the countries that are participating, along with how many South African films over how many days?
We collaborate with BRICS. I mean, obviously, as a BRICS country, previous years it was Brazil, last year it was India, and this year, as you said, it's China. And we've just kind of completed the process in terms of ensuring that we have as many films as possible showcasing at BRICS throughout the screenings, and also in the competition format. We've also appointed a jury member, a very talented and experienced jury member who will be evaluating all of the films from the different countries. And we hope that the films that we have submitted to represent South Africa through the fair process in which we did it will really stand a good chance. So we're excited about BRICS China coming up. It is going to be virtual. India was in person, but I think with all of the changes that happen around the world or with the pandemic, I think they're trying to just be careful. So that's why it's virtual. Next year, it is coming to South Africa. So the BRICS Film Festival is a great one in the sense that it really does give developing countries such as ourselves an opportunity for filmmakers from developing countries the ability to really showcase their projects in a format that is as fair as possible, right? So with other like markets, markets that experience the similar type of challenges and a similar type of markets that would benefit from the same types of opportunities. So strategically, it's a great platform. We do it in partnership with the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. So it's something that we're very excited about, and we hope that the South African films that we have taken there will stand a good chance.
How many South African films will there be?
We have submitted a total of 7, and I mean, jury members will select for the screening. They will select from the 4 submitted, they will select 3 for the screening, and for the 3 selected for the competition, they'll select 2. So we have submitted 7 in total, and then, there will be a selection process of 5 from South Africa.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I assume it's features, documentaries, animation.
Yeah, so it is all kinds of genres. A lot of the focus was on documentaries and animations. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough submissions for animation, so we'll focus it a lot more on documentaries, and there are some features there as well.
Okay, filmmakers in the audience, do you hear what Onke is saying? The NFVF needs films. They need to know who the filmmakers of South Africa are. Please do not hesitate to get in touch with them. If you have a project, take it to the National Film and Video Foundation, because they are waiting to see the talent of the nation. So, oh my God, this is so exciting and so wonderful. Gosh, we need a prayer. We need a prayer for you to go to do this virtual travel to these 5 member countries and really showcase South Africa filmmakers and films.
Thank you so much. I think this song by Alicia Keys is something that really kind of encapsulates, I think, the hope of any creative who wants their work seen around the world, and who wants their stories to really be received in the positive spirit in which they're made. So this prayer is really for that. It's really for the creative at heart.
Alicia's Prayer by Alicia Keys. Let's take a listen, and friends, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Onke Dumeko.
Hello, hi, muraho, mwaramutse, mumeze mute. My name is Hope Azeda. I'm an artist from Kigali, Rwanda. You are listening to Woman Radio. I am listening to. Welcome, Murakazanese.
This is Almaz Crow in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, listening to Woman Radio for great interviews and wonderful music. It's important that people come together, and Woman Radio does that, especially for women. Women, let's unite. We gotta take over this world. While I listen to Woman Radio, and I hope you do too.
Mosha VE, my name is Kerishi Tendero from Namibia, and you are listening to Womana Radio for well-organized men. I'm listening to.
Hi, I'm Disero Mamabulo from Light of Africa, South Africa in Pretoria. I listen to Women Radio when I want to learn new things or hear new music. The shows are always stimulating, from on the couch to womanicity. There is always something interesting or inspirational. I'm glad you are listening too.
Welcome back, friends, to Womanosity for women with curiosity like you and me and my wonderful guest here on Woman Radio, Onke Dumeko, Head of Operations at the National Film and Video Foundation. Okay, Onke, let's talk about how you recently founded a strategic advisory firm, Nandubene. What does Nandubene do?
Nandubene, like you're saying, is a strategic advisory firm. The name actually comes from, it's a combination of my parents' names because I really couldn't think of something else. And it really is there to, we basically do advisory services. So the company started just before lockdown. I just saw that there was a gap in the market for a lot of clients that we had worked with or that I'd worked with previously who really didn't know how to position themselves properly. So that's really what our focus is. It's positioning. It's also just strategic advisory for a lot of marketing and communications plans that happen, a lot of strategic work from really just from a business development organizational perspective. That's what we do.
You were a recipient of the 2017 Mail and Guardian Top 200 Young South Africans Award. Then you received the 2018 Gauteng Government Film and Media Excellence Award. How did it feel to be recognized with such distinguished recognitions and awards?
It was an incredible honor. I mean, I think when I even found out that I was nominated for the Mail and Guardian, it came as quite a surprise because I think when you're working, all you focused on is just getting the work done. And I've always been a workaholic. So I never even thought that, you could be recognized for something that essentially you're being paid to do. I was very honored for that. I was quite overwhelmed by that because it's such a prestigious thing. And then with the Gauteng Film and Excellence Awards, equally the same thing. I had gotten quite early into the culture of kind of using my social media platforms to showcase the work that I was doing. I hadn't seen a lot of people do it at the time, so I was quite into doing that. And I think it created a lot of mileage. It positioned me well. And I think just the output that was done, I think obviously fell in the right ears. So it was an incredible honor. And something that definitely encouraged me to continue in the industry.
Well-deserved. Congratulations, my dear.
Thank you.
Now, you're welcome. As the strategic manager for many of the country's leading magazines like Destiny, Elle, Sawubona, and the Bar online magazine platform, you captured the past, present, and future value of the African film and television industry. With all your knowledge of this media industry, what opportunities do you see for media and client investment opportunities?
It's a vast space. I think that media is growing faster than what we anticipate. I think that with the pandemic, a lot of media platforms have been catapulted into the future, right? So catapulted into digital engagement. And I think that the opportunities lie with being more creative around what digital expression means. So now with Meta and the metaverse, it's just forcing people to think more in literally in a different world and embrace digital as something that is as real as anything of traditional media was before. And the opportunities, I think, so first of all, they speak to that. They speak to really looking at the new world as a proper reality. And secondly, the opportunities, I think, more than anything else, speak to the new audiences that one can engage with. I think with traditional media, there was a lot of monopoly around it. And now with digital, a lot of marginalized voices have the opportunity to speak their piece and, and get things that, if you look at the Me Too movement and how that really arose through digital, if you look at Black Lives Matter in America, especially, and how that really galvanized forces based with on social media, the opportunity is really to speak to a much wider audience and to recognize their ability to really galvanize audiences. The opportunity is way beyond who we thought people with the disposable income was before. That has grown. The demographics of that is just a lot more diverse than what they were before. So it's really just for companies to open their minds.
It is very exciting. We are living in a very exciting time. And what's interesting especially after knowing you for so long. I was delighted to learn that you are producing and hosting a YouTube show and podcast called the ForeverOnke Show. And that's one word, ForeverOnke Show.
Yes.
I have to know more since we're sharing this medium and enjoying similar work. Your media-facing alias, ForeverOnke, reflects a very personal desire to help others, and your birth name drives your focus. Okay, spill the beans. Tell me more, please.
Okay. So for the ForeverOnke Show, I mean, Onke means everything. And isiXhosa, forever is infinite. So it's basically the infinite everything. It's infinite possibilities. It's just the unendingness of what could everything that could possibly be. So it's a limitless approach to life, right? And that's why, that's my social media alias. That's just the energy in which I choose to walk into the world. To not limit myself and look at everything from a limitless perspective. So that podcast is really from, it comes from the Bar Magazine, which is a magazine that I edit. It's produced by the Bar Leader TV, which is a renowned production company in South Africa. So that podcast is actually produced with them. The podcast comes from the interviews that I would conduct with everyone that we would feature on the cover of the magazine. So we haven't been in production for quite some years now, but we have been working on a process of an exciting comeback. So that's something that's still in the pipeline. But yeah, so that's essentially what the show is about. I mean, we've interviewed so many leading practitioners in the industry, Basitsane Kumalo, Muzim Tabela, there's just so many people, and Notolo Grootboom, Angus Gibson, so many prominent people from the film and TV industry who've really been at the forefront and have done something different and done something new and have sustained some longevity, because our interest is really in archiving the industry in a way that hasn't been done before. So I think we were one of the first online magazines, digital magazines, to do it. And now we're really just recalibrating and figuring out a way of maintaining longevity.
Wow, that is really inspirational. I'm thinking of a song that might typify what you're talking about.
The song that speaks to longevity and a limitless approach is definitely a song by Thandiswa Mazwai called Nizalwa Ngubani, because it really speaks about, the idea that you really don't know where you're going until you know where you come from. And that's just it, right? So if the approach is always to be limitless and to archive the best of who we are, then it starts with knowing who we are. And that's what the song is about. When it says Nizalwa Ngubani, like who do you come from? Where do you come from? It reminds me of the saying, I think it's Maya Angelou who said, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. And that's exactly what the song speaks to.
Thank you for bringing Thandiswa Mazwai up. Let's take a listen, folks. Don't go away. There is so much more to Onke Dumeko, my wonderful guest today. Enjoy. Don't go away. We will be right back.
The world changes, revolutionaries die, and the children forget. The ghetto is our first love, and our dreams are drenched in gold. We don't even cry. We don't even cry about it no more.
This is Barbara Nussbaum in Cape Town, South Africa. I love Woman Radio. I listen as often as I can. The music is wonderful and the guests are absolutely inspiring. I hope you're listening too.
Mna ndingukhwezi futhi ucenenda and ndithanda ukumamela iWoman Radio ndizokufunda izinto ezintsha ndive nomculo omnandi. Iinkqubo zabo zimnandi kwaye zisebenzisa ingqondo. Ukusukela On the Couch to Womanosity, hlala kukho into emnandi yokumamela nemfundiso entsha. Ndithanda kakhulu ukuba ngummameli. Ndiyavuya ukuba nawe umamele.
Ich bin Leila Tabanaro Hedarian aus Wien und höre Woman Radio. Ich lerne so viel Interessantes von den Radiomoderatorinnen und liebe die Musik. Ich freue mich, dass ihr auch Woman Radio hört.
Womanosity is like a good cup of coffee with a new friend, somebody I'd never have a chance to meet. Sometimes it's a new idea or thinking about an old one in a new way. It's girlfriends. It's Tadia. And it's all good. This is American artist, writer, and girlfriend Jenny Cooley in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Welcome back, everyone. It's so good to have you here in the studio today, along with my remarkable guest, Onke Dumeko, Head of Operations at the National Film and Video Foundation of the wonderful South Africa, my old home, and I long to get back, and hopefully I will very soon. Now, Onke, I need to know, what drives you? What keeps you grounded? What keeps you focused? I know you're determined, but what makes you who you are?
I think what grounds me is funny because of the song we just played. I think what grounds me is definitely my upbringing, and just the fact that, seeing I always tell people, the older I become, the more I recognize my parents as human beings, right? Because when you're a child and you look up to them, they seem like these perfect people that, are not even human. But the older I get, the more I see the humanity in them. And I think what grounds me is just having an appreciation for all the sacrifices that they had to make, just so that I could achieve anything that I've achieved in life. So it's definitely the sacrifices that they've made for all of their children.
Yes. What remarkable parents. That's the job of parents, and they've done a great job. Okay, you're not only a successful business leader, but also a media personality. What is your secret to balancing career with personal demands and personal desires?
I think the balance is really about deciding what is going to be good enough to always get my yes. I think that a yes is a very expensive commodity, which is why I issue out no's as freely as I do, because the yeses are the things that have to occupy a lot of my time. And that's where the balance comes in, because I have forced myself to get into the discipline of making sure that my life is predominantly occupied by the things that I consciously say yes to, and that I have the ability and I build the ability to constantly say no to things that I just do not have the time to give my 100% focus on. So it's that thing of having building the confidence and getting over the imposter syndrome, right? And building the confidence to know when to say no, and to have the confidence to say no and to disappoint some people sometimes, just so that I can make sure that the bulk of my time is occupied by things that I say yes to, and that I have the energy to say yes to and receive the blessings that God wants to have for me, and that I don't preoccupy myself with things that I know at my core are not for me.
That is such wise advice. Ladies, have you heard this? And gentlemen too. I know we have a few in the audience. That, I always tell people, never say no. Always say yes, and then learn to do it. But you know what? I think that your advice is even better, because really, if we don't have the energy to do things, we should say no and save it for the and save that energy for the things we have said yes to. I think that's wonderful advice. Thank you so much. Did you have models of inspiration that taught you this? I mean, who are your heroes and why?
First of all, my first heroes are my parents. I always used to grow up thinking my role models should be people that are famous or whatever. It's only my parents because really I was there, right? So I can ratify a lot of the things that they say. There's so many people who are prominent figures and whatever who you don't really know personally. So it becomes really difficult to have a proper understanding of what took them to get them there. But I think in terms of that understanding, that balance, I really admire people like Toure Roberts. Toure Roberts is an American preacher. He is T.D. Jakes' son-in-law. I admire people like him. He's probably my favorite preacher. My spiritual inclination is very diverse. I am someone who is, on a journey in African spirituality. I do come from a Christian home. I was a Baha'i for many years. I have quite a eclectic religious past, but I'm grateful for that because it's given me the ability to really be very open-minded when it comes to sources of inspiration. So I would definitely say people like Toure Roberts, obviously Oprah Winfrey, whom I've always admired in my career. So, I mean, I think those types of people, I think, are people that I definitely look up to.
Oh, yes. And what do you hope to do for women by being a successful mentor? Because you are an example to others. So what's your message to them?
I would basically say, look, this is an interesting question because I don't necessarily believe in mentorship. And I'll tell you why. It's
what? Wait a minute. Say that again.
I don't, because I know all of the people that have mentored me are never people who I've asked to mentor. It's people who I've literally made a conscious decision to observe. And that's all mentorship is. It's observation. And you have to get into the habit of being able to, if you really look up to someone and admire and want to develop some of the habits that they have, the opportunity really is in observing how they conduct themselves in certain things, because those are the habits that build that type of posture for leadership or whatever it is that you admire in a person. It's not about having a coffee session and an update once a month, and it's really about observing the daily habits. That's where the mentorship really happens. So, and my thing about mentorship is people always think that it has to be really far. Like, people always think that mentorship is something so far from them. And whereas a lot of the time you can be mentored by people that are quite close in your vicinity, because it's really all about identifying someone who is executing something really well and observing that and emulating that behavior. It's really not about getting the CEO or getting whatever, someone at the highest level. It really can be closer than you think. And I think that if people can get over that hurdle or mindset, the mentorship that they seek is closer than what they think. So that's why I don't really look at mentorship in the traditional sense.
I understand. You make a very good point. I hear a song coming up, Onke. I hear Alicia Keys somewhere in all of that. Is it another Alicia Keys?
Yes, it is. It's called Authors of Forever. It's a beautiful song about how we are the ones who determine our own destiny.
Aha. You're so right. We are. Oh, friends, don't go away. We have to take a very quick break, but we'll be right back with Onke Dumeko. Don't go away.
We are lost and lonely people, and we're looking for a reason, and it's alright. So let's celebrate the dreamers. We embrace the space between us, 'cause it's alright. We're all in this boat together, and we're sailing toward the future, and it's alright. We can make make the whole thing better. We're the authors of forever, and it's alright. We are born on our own, and we die on our own, and we're here to make meaning of what happens in between. We could hate, we could love, we could doubt, we could trust, but we're here to make meaning for as long as we're breathing, and it's alright. Wherever you are, it's alright. Whoever you are, it's alright.
If you find love like it's the first time, God knows it'll be the last time. If you find love like it's the first time, God knows.
Where there's light, there must be a shadow. Cloudy skies and rain make a rainbow. We are builders, we are breakers, we are givers, we are takers, and it's alright. We are 7 billion stories, and we know defeat and glory, and it's alright. Alright. We are born on our own, and we die on our own, and we're here to make meaning of what happens in between. We could hate, we could love, we could doubt, we could trust, but we're here to make meaning for as long as we're breathing, and it's alright. Wherever you are, it's alright. Wherever you are, it's alright. Wherever you are, it's alright. Alright.
No man is an island. Ladies, let's open up and discuss issues, whether good or bad. Platforms are there. Woman Radio happens to be just one of them. I'm inviting you on the couch to further discuss areas of concern every Thursday from 10 a.m. South African time to 12 noon. On the couch with me, Yvonne Chaka Chaka, here on Woman Radio, well-organized men, for we are.
Meet me at the party on the couch.
Ni hao. I'm Steve Bergadine from China. You're listening to Woman Radio for well-organized men. I'm listening to...
Hi, everyone. This is Shireen Janti, Senior Director at Music Cares of the Recording Academy, otherwise known as the Grammys. I love this radio station. I love this talk. Woman Radio helps give women the voice they need, and I thank them for supporting women. I'm listening to Woman Radio, and I hope you are too.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Onke Dumeko, a most brilliant and wonderful woman who, young ladies in South Africa, you watch Onke Dumeko. She can be your mentor without you ever having to ask, because she's that brilliant. Okay, Onke, how would you describe the way you walk in the world?
I think I walk into the world with a limitless approach to life. I just believe that any room that I'm in is a room that God sent me to. So it helps me get over my anxiety. It helps me get over my imposter syndrome. I walk into the world intentionally as if I was supposed to be there. Even when I don't feel like I am, that's when I definitely fake it until I make it.
Wonderful. I like the way you walk in the world. I think a lot of us have walked that way, and it pays off because, you
Yeah.
got to walk some way. So you might as well do it any way you are comfortable. So what would you tell your younger self about love, life, and purpose now that you're still very young, but you're more mature than you were when you were a teenager? So if you could
Yeah.
tell the young Onke anything about love, life, and purpose, what would it be?
I would say that, first of all, life is long. And life, all that it is it's a series of choices that you make every single day. I would say that purpose is really something that really comes to you in most instances through a painful experience. So I would just say, never be afraid of a painful experience, because that always pushes you towards your purpose. And I would say then that love underpins all of that, because God is love. And God is the all-encompassing, all-knowing, all of that is underpinned by love. And no matter how painful the experience is or how challenging the circumstance in life may be at the time, God would have never put you through it if he did not know that you have the ability to come. God would have never put you through it if he did not know that you have the ability to kind of withstand it and come out a better person on the other side. So that's essentially what I'd say, is that, love is the underpinning force of everything. And life is for you. Life always works for you. It never works against you, especially when you feel it's working against you. It's actually working for you.
Wow, that is really interesting. So then what would you say is your biggest achievement to date?
I think my biggest achievement to date is probably my lack of fear. Because I think if I compare myself to my siblings, I know it's not a thing to do or whatever. If I just look at a lot of the things that I have kind of overcome or gone through without, letting them have me unravel, I think there's a deep sense of just stillness and knowing that everything is going to be fine. And I say that obviously as a perfect person who's not perfect, but I really think that I do suffer from fear, obviously, like everybody else, but I've just developed this ability to embrace whatever experience life has for me at the time, make a decision on it, and not kind of, be not torture myself with, is it the right one, or is it the right one or the wrong decision? I am a Capricorn, I am a sea goat. I tend to go uphill and always choose the hard road to life. But I think that's what's made me make some of the decisions that I've made in my life and just do things fearlessly. Look, it has resulted in people not always understanding my approach to life, and that's fine because it's my journey. But I trust the fact that in my spiritual life, I definitely know that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be now. And, for other people who might look at it, it might be surprising, but I think everything has led to this exact process that I'm going through now. And I embrace it with open arms. Have I not been afraid? Of course I've been afraid, but it's everything in life these days seems to be a catch-22 situation. So I might as well embrace it with open arms.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. And I think that's great advice, because fear holds women back terribly. And we must learn that there is no reason to be fearful, because there are opportunities awaiting us, and we must just pay attention. Do you hear that? Okay.
I think I do.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what that is?
I think that is a game.
It is. You guessed it right. It's the Womanosity 25 questions in 2 minutes speed round. Yes, girl. We're going to have some fun now. So I'm going to ask you these questions. Do you think you can handle this, Onke?
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, I hear the clock ticking. Oh, here we go. What color or flavor is your favorite M&M or candy?
Blue.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Dog.
Would you rather eat chocolate or watch your favorite TV show?
Okay, what's your favorite TV show?
Okay, what's one city or country that you've always dreamed of traveling to but haven't gotten there yet?
London.
Okay, are you a morning or night person?
Night.
What words do you live by, Onke Dumeko?
Can we come back to this one?
No. What words do you live by?
What words do I live by?
Yeah, what? No fear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it. No fear and carpe diem. What's one vice you wish you could give up?
Oh, watching too much TV.
What's the best compliment you've ever received, Onke?
I think that I have beautiful eyes.
Ooh, you do. Well, you have a beautiful smile. I mean, what's not beautiful about you? It's disgusting. Okay, how do you start your day?
With a gratitude prayer.
And when are you the most inspired?
I think in the early mornings, when it's very quiet and still.
Oh, nice. Okay, food, sweet or savory?
Savory.
I knew it. What makes you smile the most?
My family.
What's the one thing most people don't know about you?
That I love to be alone.
All right, heels, flats, or sneakers?
Heels.
What's inspiring you in life right now?
A saying that goes, when the gratitude overflows, the grace and the blessings overflow. So when you're more grateful, the blessings just become more, they just manifest more in your life.
That's true. I totally agree. It's as you have faith, so shall your powers and blessing be. What's the most adventurous thing you've done in your life?
I think change religions a couple of times.
Well, that is adventurous, that's for sure.
Yeah.
How would you define yourself in 3 words?
Confident, intelligent, and loving.
Diamonds or pearls?
Diamonds.
What's something you notice about someone when you first meet them?
Their energy.
What's the one talent you wish you had?
Sure. I wish I knew how to. I wish I was like a really good attorney, lawyer. I really wish I was I wish I knew law like the back of my mind, because it would come in really handy right now in my life.
It does. It comes in handy anytime. All right. What's your favorite color, Onke?
Black.
And what color of clothing do you wear the most?
Black.
Oh, you know what's interesting about this question is most people have a favorite color that's different from the clothing that they wear. You're the first person to ever have the same. Congratulations. Okay. What's the cutest thing on planet Earth?
My niece.
Your niece? Oh, how old is she?
She is nearly 2 years old. She'll be 2 in July.
Ah, that's a lovely age. All right. What's the best thing that's happened to you this year?
I think the promotion I got in my job, I think that was very nice.
That's fantastic. I would love to close the show with your favorite song. What is it now?
It's definitely a song by Beyonce. It's one of her old songs. It's called That's Why You're Beautiful. It basically speaks of the inner beauty that everybody has, and how all of the things that make you who you are is really what makes you beautiful. So basically all of the hardships that you go through, everything that it takes to carve a stone into a diamond is all part of what makes a person beautiful.
That is so true. And that's why you're so beautiful, Onke Dumeko. I want to thank you so much, my dear, for being my guest in the studio today. You are such a joy. And you are, as I said earlier, brilliant and wise. And you're a wonderful mentor to even me, even though you don't know it. You are. And I really thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, friends, that's the end of the show, but enjoy and remember, that's why you're beautiful. Beyonce has even reaffirmed that.
You won't break my soul. 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 I'm telling everybody, 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 everybody. Now I just fell in love, and I just quit my job. I'm gonna find no drive. Damn, they work me so damn hard. Work by 9, then off past 5. And they work my nerves, that's why I cannot sleep at night. Motivation, I'm looking for a new foundation, yeah. And I'm on that new vibration. I'm building my own foundation, yeah. Hold up, oh baby, baby, you won't break my soul. 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 I'm telling everybody, nah, everybody, everybody, everybody.
Release your anger, release your mind, release your job, release the time, release your strain, release the stress, release your love, forget the rest.
I'ma let down my hair, 'cause I lost my mind. B is back and I'm sleeping real good at night. The queen's in the front and the dom's in the back. Ain't taking no flicks, but the whole click snap. There's a whole lot of people in the house trying to smoke with the yak in your mouth. And we back outside. You said you outside, but you ain't that outside. Worldwide hoodie with the mask outside. In case you forgot how we act outside. Motivation. I done found me a new foundation, yeah. Checking my new salvation. And I'ma build my own foundation, yeah. Oh, baby, baby, you won't break my soul. 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 And I'm telling everybody, 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 yeah. You don't seek it, you won't see it, that we all know. Can't break my soul. You don't think it, you won't be it, that love ain't yours. Can't break my soul. Trying to fake it never makes it, that we all know. Can't break my soul. Can have the stress and I'll take less, I'll justify love. We go round in circles, searching for love. We go up and down, lost and found, searching for love. Looking for something that lives inside me. For something that lives inside me. You won't break my soul. 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 Telling everybody, telling everybody, everybody, everybody. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. No, no. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. And I'm telling everybody, 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 everybody. Taking my own salvation. And I'm building my own foundation, yeah. Got motivation. I done found me a new foundation, yeah. I'm taking my new salvation. And I'ma build my own.
Thank you for being with me today on Womanosity for Women with Curiosity, broadcasting globally on Woman Radio. Enjoy great interviews with remarkable women and music from around the world. Join me, won't you?